Good morning, quilt people and seekers of the world. How are you? I'm doing great. Excited about today's topic. I am the Rapture. Oh, good. First she thinks she's God. And then she's telling you to be delusional. And now the next step is, I am the Rapture. Okay. But if we haven't crossed that threshold already of you being uncomfortable, then I think we're good. So all the steps, I am God, right? Being delusional, I am the Rapture. Where does that bring us to, and why is it important? It's important because we are in the middle of a paradigm shift. Can you feel it? Where, fear is seen as no longer the solution, where strength and might and taking over countries and war is no longer the solution, where toxic energy is no longer the solution, where seeing things as good and bad and right and wrong is no longer the solution. We as a people are evolving past all those things. And you can't go into spaces and circles where high-minded individuals and deeply spiritual individuals are doing their work to understand that we are the paradigm shift, and that, bringing society along to educate them that, toxic energy is the new smoking. Toxic energy cannot be allowed. And that toxic energy covers a lot of things unless you have privilege. So, that paradigm shift where us moving away and evolving past good and bad and right and wrong to start evaluating and adjudicating the world and everything we see by not is it good, not are they good, but is it loving? Are they loving? Are you loving? Are you working on owning your own personal toxicity and then working on extinguishing it? That's a you thing. As I have very much been in here trying to extinguish my own toxicity and teach others that is necessary. Toxic people can no longer be allowed in certain spaces. They're certainly not allowed in my world. Right? You want to bring that energy into my world? No. And let's not confuse boundaries with toxic energy. A boundary is necessary. A boundary is what healthy people do, right? I mean, I'm very clear about my boundaries, am I not? Right? Because, it's a form of self-love. It's a form of taking care of yourself by, setting that fence post and say, okay, this may come onto my island of safety, but that stays out. That's not me. That's not what I'm incorporating into my life, so no thank you. And there is no better, training ground on the planet than America 2025. Right? It is so the perfect training ground to be able to bless the chaos, to be able to look at that and say, yes, this is correct. To look at the news and everything you see on Facebook and say, yes, this is correct. Because that's the evolution of, the human mind. It's trying to get beyond the ego. To understand the ego, I just look at my dogs, because they do not function with the human ego. If I arrive 2 hours late back home, they're not upset that I'm 2 hours late. They're thrilled that I'm there. They're living in the present. They have arrived to the moment where I am greeting them. If that was a human, where would they be? Back in the past. Stuck on what didn't go right. Stuck on where have you been? It's been 2 hours. That's the human expression. But the dog's expression is, You're here. Oh, this is the best day ever. Yay! Right? And that celebration, that joy, that constant state of being lit up and not living in the past, not attaching to history, not attaching to pains, not attaching to your childhood, not attaching to your trauma, right? And all that stuff, just close the door on it. That's the paradigm shift we're in. Close the door on the toxicity. Close the door on the crazy. It is optional. I mean, even our government. Now, while the money part might not be optional, because if you don't make enough money, they will throw you in jail. If you don't pay your property taxes and all the other that they have going on, you have to do that little bit. But the whole rest of it, the political stuff and like the social stuff, and if it's making you unhappy, turn it off. Our property here, my ranch, is a safe haven of energy from the rest of the world. It is my island of safety. And I'm very particular about what I allow on here. And that's me. That's me saying no to the news. That's me saying no to a lot of social media. That's me saying no to a lot of people who just don't vibe or resonate with who I am and what I have going on. And that's fine. They get to do it their way. I get to do it my way. And that is the beauty of everything you see on the news and how you can bless it. Bless the chaos. It's necessary. We have to go through this evolution, and although it's, crazy, and there's a lot of people who are completely infuriating because they themselves are not evolved, but that's not their fault. They just haven't been shown better. When we know better, we do better. Help, love, offer support. Be a way shower of how to do things better. We need to stop washing dirt with dirt. We're not getting anywhere. And that's all just the ego of good and bad and right and wrong, because this person is right and this person is right. And they go at each other with this sense of, righteousness that is inflexible. The paradigm shift, moving away from humans seeing the world around them as good and bad and right and wrong, and holding on to an imagined past that's still telling us some kind of egoic story, right? All that's going away. And we're getting more present. And we're letting go of the history, all of it. If it's happened even 5 seconds before, it cannot exist in your mind. It is now illusion. It is not real. It is not currently happening. You can only deal in the conscious present. Just stay here, right? Let the world wash over you. It does not matter. It is not you. Let consciousness figure itself out and bless it, right? And hold space for human evolution, for us to evolve into a loving population, not into a toxic population. Be a way shower. Show people what it's like to exist vibrationally beyond good and bad and right and wrong. Stand in presence, stand in strength, stand in power. But that power there is a very quiet space. That power out there, that's a very loud space. Because out there, they're trying to arrange the world in order to make themselves happy. However, that's not the only way to go about it. And this really calls out the difference between traditional religion, which asks people to be more subservient, and what I found in shamanism, which is learning how to, you in and of yourself, affect the matrix, because you become that powerful, because you understand where the controls are in terms of quantum physics, in terms of energy work. We're getting really good, and the floodgates are open. Anybody who wants to evolve beyond pain, anyone who wants to evolve beyond fear, if pain and fear are a problem for you in your life, that's you doing that to you. There's no one against you, there's no one opposing you, and everything you have going on in your life is that which you have asked for. I have everything I have ever asked for, and I always will. I have everything I have ever asked for, and I ever will. Statements of abundance that also put you in power. I mean, that's where you want to hang out. You want to hang out with those people who are teaching you in and of yourself and on your own say-so to be able to change your life in power. We're not praying to some imagined deity, oh, please, will you do this for me? I, in and of myself, have the ability and I am capable to do that. I do not need, some third man, like whatever. Illusion is the number one enemy of the work. So if illusion is the number one enemy of the work, and you're praying to something that's imaginal, I mean, not that God is imaginal, but this cartoon sky god of, all that, we don't know what happened 2,000 years ago. We really don't. And I'm happy if that's your path forward up the mountain. I will even help you. I will encourage you. I will love you. I will bless you. But I'm also not going to allow you to bring toxic energy into my life. And I view most, religions as toxic because they only deal in the ego. They do not deal in love. At least not that I've seen. Maybe there's been some evolution of Christianity, Mormonism, or the Jewish faith who has decided to stop using openly bigoted literature in their faith. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe it exists. I don't know. But I'm still holding that space. And until that happens, I'm, got that moat up. You're not coming on the island of safety. That doesn't feel safe to me. That doesn't feel loving to me. And, if that level of bigotry was aimed at either the Jewish folks or our black friends, they wouldn't stand for it either. So I'm not standing for it. And I know that's a paradigm shift. And I know that's why my books exist, right? To really color like what is in terms of the way that I see these things. And I know I'm not alone in that. I know a lot more people are starting to see something as not what it is, but what its energy vibration is. What is the energy signature of your religion? What is the energy signature of religion in general? Because the entire concept of to worship another or to worship something outside of yourself is anathema to shamans. We would never do that. Because anything that you give energy to outside of yourself becomes a false god. It becomes like this effigy that lives outside of you that constantly just sucks all your personal power away from you, so then you feel powerless. That's not what we're doing anymore. We are filling ourselves with power. I am a world-famous author whose books get easily turned into blockbuster films that help elevate the consciousness of man. That's who I am. That's all I see. That's all I know. And anything that is not that falls away. We are that powerful. But you gotta tap in and you gotta do the deal. Most people in the Western world feel weak because they have given their personal power away. Either to an entity, a institution, whatever it is. They have given their personal power to that and looking for help from that entity or institution. They're not there to help you. They're not there to care about you. No, that's your job. That's your job. Stop looking for answers and fulfillment outside of your container. It does not exist. And any searching for things to make yourself feel whole from the external will not work. However, filling yourself and your personal container from the inside out, right? I have everything I have ever called on, and I always will. I have everything I have ever chosen, and I always will. I have everything I have ever needed, and I always will. It will arrive. I have the ability to say so, and in doing so, it arrives. I'm setting up a whole new education system for real estate at a brokerage firm down in Palm Springs. And I'm really excited about it because I get to really blend all my background in real estate along with energy work. And I feel like I have the opportunity now to train people from a place of power. Whereas before, I wasn't as evolved, so I was trying to train people from a place of force. Do you see the difference? There's a lightness that happens when you know in and of yourself that you have the power and the ability to bring about that which you seek. Hold it gently, but be clear. A clear mind is one of the greatest assets you could ever give to yourself. Spend hours a day in silence. Spend hours a day getting to know your mind, getting to understand your limiting beliefs and what's holding you back. We're creating, right now, the new earth. And you can't even turn on the TV anymore without hearing high-minded individuals speaking truth in terms of how we evolve. This is happening now. And I am endlessly encouraged by seeing it everywhere. I mean, powerful people like Glennon Doyle and Eckhart Tolle and Marianne Williamson, I mean, they've been at this a while. But under them, there's all the people like me, right? Who've heard the message, who've caught the fire. And this is the thing about human evolution, is it's addictive. And once you start down that path of personal joy, right, and only relying on self to provide everything that you are looking for, once you hit that space and you understand that you are in and of yourself, like this little self-propelling, little nuclear energy, that you understand that anything I do not have is that which I have not granted to myself, and I do not look for it externally. I only look for it internally. Everything I look for is in here. Everything. Personal power, peace, happiness, joy, fulfillment, contentment, finances, my standing in the world, my movies and books. It's all in here. It's not living out there. And how it lives in here, in me, and how I talk about it, how I see it, how I, am involved with it on this planet, in that space and in that vibration, is the conduit to bring my dreams about. I'm also working on a new project. It's called The Prefab Guy. I originally kind of started it in response to the LA fires. And I, as you know, have a long-standing history in the prefab sales space. I worked exclusively for one of the very high-end prefab companies for a period of 3 years. During that time, I learned a lot, which is now also informing me of how to bring spirit and real estate, quite frankly, and my experience in both of those into one place. Because up until now, I've kind of had two lives. I've had my spirit evolution life, and then I've had my real estate business. And so I'm really trying to marry them with this new brand called The Prefab Guy. And what it is, and I have my book coming out later this month, is a movement to help people return to the land and understand the importance of that, but also to understand the importance and the options of, getting into the real estate market without debt. We don't teach that. And I've always found it frustrating, and especially when I'm dealing with first-time home buyers, young couples and whatever else, who just feel disillusioned, they feel left behind, they feel like they can't participate. And I'm like, you're just looking at it wrong. You're trying to start with debt. You're trying to start with the end game. There's so much infill land in every single city that you can pick up for $5,000 or $10,000. And if you can pull an RV or trailer on that, you have yourself a home in a city for nothing. Who's doing that? Who's teaching young people that that's even an option? And then over time, as you're able, build and do it yourself. Take a class. Lots of people have done this. All you need is an internet connection and a YouTube channel, and you can figure it all out. Build as you're able. Everything. Your life, you, right? Build as you're able. Start there. Don't start in debt. So that's kind of another thing that I'm launching here. But I have a lot going on, and I'm really excited about where all of this is going, right? Because I feel like it's just got all this momentum that continues to grow and build. Additionally, I don't know if you saw this previous video we sent out about the plant medicine retreats that are happening here locally. If you're at all interested in that, we do have some spaces. They'll be July 7th through 13th here at my house. So you can message me, probably on Instagram is the easiest. I'm at Dale Allen Rouse. Anyways, that's where we are today. I hope that was helpful, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.